Well, another live action Disney remake. They're so good. No, I'm just kidding. They all suck. Except for like a small few. To be honest, I'm going to bring up my opinion on live action remakes again for the Disney movies. They suck. They're terrible. They don't do anything original to differ from the original source material. You can still have some themes from the story, but add new things to make it different. If you don't do that, what's the point? Like, we've already seen the movie. Like, what's the point? There's only a few of the live-action Disney remakes or live-action Disney movies in general that didn't suck. There were only a few. But, unfortunately, the list is bigger for the worst. Let's see. Beauty and the Beast. Terrible. Jungle Book. It was okay. Even though it's not a live-action remake. The Kim Possible movie. That movie sucked. Like, even if it isn't a remake to a movie, it still sucked as an adaptation based off the original show. Also, I've heard Cruella and Mulan 2020 were terrible movies. I haven't seen them, but I've heard some not very good things. Let's not also forget the abomination known as Pinocchio 2022. Now, I haven't seen this film, but from what I've been hearing about the film, it's dumb. Ooh, I can't forget about Lion King 2019. Now, I predicted this one was going to be bad. Like, really. I remember a friend telling me, oh no, it's gonna be good, and I kept telling him, don't be deceived by the trailers. Of course the trailers are gonna look good. And he ended up seeing the movie, and he ended up hating it. And of course, at the end, I was like, told you so. But yeah, in general, these movies suck. I don't understand why they keep making them, especially since Mulan 2020 and Cruella flopped really hard. And I don't think Pinocchio 2022 did that well either, if I'm remembering right. And of course, we're getting 2 new live-action Disney remakes, which I'm skipping them both. First, we got that remake of The Little Mermaid. Ugh. It looks terrible. Of course, they had to do the forced diversity thing, and change the source material. Like, I know I said to differ from the source material, but there's still things you need to keep. Like, let me explain. So my issue with Disney lately is they've been changing history with this whole race swapping thing. Now, this is a bit of a controversial topic, and I don't like talking about it, but unfortunately I have to. I hate when they change the skin color of a character I like just because of diversity. Look, if you care about these diverse kinds of people, why bother changing the past instead of making, like, new stories? I think it's more of a disgrace to change the past to build up this diversity instead of making their own. We have plenty of good examples of diversity where they got their own good projects or were involved with good projects. Like Blade, for example. I've heard Blade, both the movies, or maybe 3, I can't remember. I've heard they're all good. I hear they're all good movies, and I wish I kind of saw them. Or Men in Black. The main lead of the first 3 Men in Black movie was a man of color. And trust me, when I saw these movies, I loved them. I liked Will Smith's character. They were great movies. Man, especially the third one. The third one was great. Let's bring up Mace Windu from the Star Wars prequels. He was a phenomenal character in those prequels. He had to be one of my favorite Jedi, and he still kind of is. and Lando, the man. Like, you have all these movies that have these new characters that are diversified in those days, but here we are in modern times where we're just rewriting history to appeal to diversity. And then when they do it occasionally, write a new character, they can't write for themselves and end up writing terrible characters like Reva. Like, seriously, I'm sick of this forced politics in my movies. Just write a story. And also, stay true to the source material that was created. Oh, and that's what we have to talk about with this terrible remake, which already has a controversy already, even though the movie hasn't come out yet. So, of course, Little Mermaid is coming out on coming out in theaters, but of course, this movie, Peter Pan and Wendy, terrible name. Of course, this one's releasing on Disney Plus. Hey, a bigger chance for it to flop. Nice. Especially since they lost all those subscribers. But yeah, you're probably wondering, what did I think of the trailer itself for Peter Pan and Wendy? I just have to describe it in one word. Ugh. It was awful. I cringed at the trailer. Like, I wish I could show you a clip of how bad it is. It is terrible. Like, this trailer is just unbelievably bad. Like, I think this might be the worst live-action Disney remake trailer in existence. How is that possible? Like, we've had some terrible trailers, especially that Little Mermaid one, which got downvoted to oblivion, which, completely okay with that. And the same thing happened to this movie. Completely okay with that. Look, this thing was terrible. It was a disgrace to the story of Peter Pan. Like, I like how they are gonna probably tell the exact same story, but with small changes, but with cringy moments. Like, there's this one moment in the trailer where the Lost Boys show up, and then Wendy's like, but you're a girl, and they're like, so? And I'm like, no! Forced politics! Anyway, then it gets worse. Peter Pan says this cringy line of, who else did you expect? I cringed. It was horrible. And, of course, Tinkerbell. Of course, they had to switch the diversity of Peter Pan and Tinkerbell to appeal to the new audience, even though a big portion of the time the people they're appealing to don't even watch the movies to begin with. Stop pandering to these people. They're never going to watch your movies, and that's the reason some of your movies keep flopping. Just make a movie that's good and not pandering. No one likes pandering movies unless they're crazy. Yes, I said that, and I regret nothing. Anywho, now you're wondering, now what's the controversy? Well, you see, Disney has been removing or blocking some people talking about this trailer. Well, videos that use the trailer in the background. And of course, that's why I'm not using the trailer, because usually I like using the trailers for certain topics and put my profile guy in the front of the trailer, which is my background. I have done this a lot. A few times I have gotten copyrighted. But one of the companies I managed not to get copyrighted by was Disney, surprisingly. But Disney has went to an extreme. They clearly know what they're doing is not the right way, but they're proceeding to still do it. I figured after Lightyear and Strange Worlds box office failures would teach them to stop doing this, but of course not. And what does this sound like a bit? I feel like there's been something like this before. Censoring other people's opinions about something. Oh, I get it. Do you know what this reminds me of? The controversy of Last of Us 2. Let's not forget that one. If you're confused about this controversy, so apparently at some point during the release of Last of Us 2, the creators of the Last of Us 2 were censoring leaks that some of the game developers leaked on the internet because of how terrible the story was. Those people ended up doing us a favor, and I think some of them quit, if I was not mistaken. But yeah, that was a whole controversy. People covered the leaks and all that. And, of course, Naughty Dog, the company who had made the game, started censoring people, blocking people, giving people copyright strikes for their channels, which almost could have terminated them. Now, I never covered the story or the leaks of The Last of Us 2 because I didn't really know much about The Last of Us to begin with. And also, I was not going to get copyright striked for that. I decided to stay out of it, and it ended up playing a bit into my favor. Of course, Naughty Dog lost in the end. A few people managed to get the strikes removed and their videos restored on their channels, some more than others. So, yeah. It reminds me of that controversy, and I thought Disney would sadly never hit this point. Even though I criticize Disney a lot, they have not gotten to the point yet of trying to censor. But with this movie, for some reason, they're trying to censor it. And to be honest, I don't think this is going to be the end of it. It sucks, but this is how far people have become. The internet's crazy, I'll say that. Yeah, I'm going to skip this movie. I'm also skipping Little Mermaid for the live action remakes being terrible. That's my excuse. Like, granted, I would boycott them for the whole forced diversity thing because I hate forced diversity. Just make good characters that are new. Stop ruining the old ones. Oh, and also, stop making characters that are new where you have to tear down the old ones to make them look good. I'm looking at you, Star Wars sequel trilogy. I'm honestly fed up with these remakes. You know, I'm kind of hoping this one flops. Like, really, really bad. Like, maybe only like 2 people see it. I know it's not realistic, but I kind of want it to happen. I'm kind of sick of these remakes and how they keep getting more, especially after the failures of Cruella and Mulan 2020. Like, when I heard both those films flopped, I was happy that they flopped badly because it gave me a glimmer of hope that people would see the truth about these terrible remakes to the point where Disney would cancel all of them and we would never have to see a single terrible live-action Disney remake ever again. But unfortunately, they kept going after that, which sucks. But, yeah. I'm skipping. I'm sorry. If you're excited for these remakes, good for you, I guess. Like, I know people that are excited for these remakes. And, personally, they're not my jam. I think they're terrible, but I guess if I'm being polite, you can go watch them. Yeah, don't expect any reviews on the new Little Mermaid or Peter Pan and Wendy. I'm not going to see them. They seem like a huge waste of time. But yeah, that's all I have to say. How do you feel about this certain situation? Do you like the Peter Pan and Wendy trailer? Do you not like it like me and think it's absolute cringe? Tell me in the comments. Personally, I think we need more films like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And have a nice day, everyone.